racetrack. Cautious car just kept drifting left, stayed with it just a little bit too long. And unfortunately, right at the finish line, coming across the center stripe and taking out the 2 timing blocks. So for Steve Frank, Bob McCosh, what could have been, might have been, definitely for Bob would have been qualifying runs to put him into the show. Instead, we'll find them both on the outside looking in. Frank's time that came up on the scoreboard, actually a 5:30 number, but that run and that number came about because of Bob McCosh taking out the timing cone. He effectively ended the timing session for Steve Frank's run. So the boys at the top end of the racetrack doing what they need to do, and that is clean up the remnants of a couple of timing blocks down at the other end. The blocks are foam. They just kind of disintegrate. Unfortunately, there's a couple of plastic reflectors on there that reflect the infrared beam back to the infrared device on the outside of the wall. So when the cars pass through it, they stop the timing system. A little bit of cleanup needs to be done down there to pick up all the little parts and pieces. And, of course, we do need to replace the timing blocks at the top end. So Andy Bowl, Tony Bogolo go to sit and wait patiently when we get the timing blocks replaced at the top end. And we'll get back into our Alcohol Funny Car final qualifying session here in just a moment.
A K&N high-flow air filter will keep your vehicle running at high efficiency day after day. As it protects your engine, K&N's technology allows your engine to breathe all the air that it needs. The original lifetime air filter's easy to clean when it gets dirty, and it never needs replacing. K&N, it's like having a new air filter in your car every day. These filters are handmade in the USA, and you can find out more online at knfilters.com.
For over 30 years, no name has been more synonymous with delay boxes and throttle stops than Diedenbear. Every Diedenbear product is engineered and built to the highest possible specifications here in the United States. From the legendary RTD7 to the groundbreaking CC3 Command Center to the cutting-edge Lightning delay box, Diedenbear is always on the forefront of bracket racing technology. Diedenbear is a proud contingency sponsor of the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series and supporter of local and national drag racers. For more information, check out Diedenbear.com.
And again, a little cleanup going on down at the top end of the racetrack. Like I said, the blocks are styrofoam, foam rubber type material. They pretty much disintegrate. Now, they still do damage to the car on Bob McCosh's hot rod when he hit him. Because you hit anything running through at 250 miles an hour, and it's going to be more like an immovable object rather than a soft, fuzzy item. So Bob's got some body work to do on the nose of that Camaro. Unfortunately, though, he's not going to be a qualified car, neither Steve Frank's machine. That's a tough break for both drivers as they look to be on good runs going down the racetrack. Bob certainly was. He clicked off a 569. Frank's run, we will never know the true numbers because, well, clocks weren't in place when he crewed across the finish line. So cleanup continues, picking up the little parts, little pieces, make sure there's nothing on the racetrack down there, get the cones reset. Tony Bogolo, Andy Bowles sitting and waiting patiently. We'll get back to it here in just a bit.
Quality and customer service have been a way of life at Brodix for over 50 years. Brodix products are made in the USA at their foundry and machine shop, where they have total control of the manufacturing process from start to finish, which gives customers maximum value for their investment. As racers and car enthusiasts themselves, Brodix knows racing parts are a big investment. That is why they work hard every day to ensure that they produce the best of the best. Cast iron, small block, and big block Chevrolet compatible blocks are also available through Brodix. Visit Brodix.com/shop to see Brodix apparel and find Brodix on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. It pays to run Brodix. For over 40 years, CompCams has had the parts to make big horsepower, both at the strip and on the street. Camshafts, liners, rocker arms, valve springs, and a wide variety of related valve train components are available. Each part is built by the industry's largest teams of engineers and backed by a knowledgeable technical support staff. Whether you're trying to get down the track first or you're just cruising through town, CompCams delivers. To learn what CompCams can do for your engine, call 1-800-999-0853 or visit compcams.com.
So it looks like they got the blocks in place down at the other end of the racetrack, and a little final cleanup down there. But give it the once over, make sure everything's looking good, ready to go before we fire up Andy Bowl and Tony Bogolo. And get ready to finalize our alcohol funny car qualifying.
JE Pistons is the industry leader in forged racing pistons. JE Pistons offers custom and off-the-shelf pistons for almost every application, including small and big block Chevy, Ford, and Chrysler V8s. JE is also your source for Chevy LSX, Ford Modular, and new Hemi pistons. JE has ramped up their off-the-shelf part numbers to over 40,000 pistons ready to ship at a moment's notice. Still can't find what you need? JE Pistons now offers 2-week standard delivery for all custom piston orders. Still need them faster? JE also offers expedite services that can ship custom pistons for almost any application in as little as 5 days. If you demand the best for your engine, visit JE Pistons online or call today.
Mosier Engineering has been racing across 4 decades with 3 generations, and we are proud to be an official NHRA sponsor here today. Everything we make, from our rear ends, axles, suspension, and even our brakes, are made with one goal in mind: so you can finish first. We offer standard 2-day turnaround on custom axles, housings, and center sections. Visit us on the web at mosierengineering.com or call and talk to our knowledgeable and friendly technicians. Remember, whether you are a weekend enthusiast or a serious racer, Mosier Engineering has the highest quality made in the USA products for all of your extreme street and racing applications. Finish first with Mosier Engineering. When you need every last RPM from your valve train and a horsepower advantage over the competition, choose Jessel Pro Series shaft rockers. They are stiffer, stronger, and as light as their aluminum counterparts. Are you punishing your valve train with 3 kits of nitrous or a pair of giant turbos? No problem. Jessel Pro Steel shaft rockers can take whatever you dish out. For less radical engine combos, Jessel has the best performing aluminum shaft rockers too. For more information on valve train survival, go to jessel.com.
At the Jim Butner Auto Group, we're striving to keep everybody driving. Whether you need to reestablish your credit or have traditional bank financing, we created the Jim Butner Auto Group for you. We can service your vehicle and even offer no-interest financing on all your service repairs. Wide selection, traditional and special financing, and a world-class service center are just a few of the ways we at the Jim Butner Auto Group are striving to keep you driving.
The Jim Butner Auto Group, now with 2 locations, a bigger selection, and more financing options. Because at Jim Butner Auto, we're striving to keep everybody driving.
The 2018 season is coming. Get the season started right with NHRA All Access. $119.99 brings you racing action Friday through Sunday. Live racing and classic moments from more than 65 years of NHRA history. It's a new year. Get it started right. Go to NHRAAllAccess.com and sign up now.
And again, a tough situation there for Steve Frank and Bob McCosh. Good run by Bob, definitely. Might have been a good run for Steve. We'll never know. Unfortunately, though, it is the final qualifying session, and it is the final opportunity. And that being said, our field is set. Andy Bowl knows he's in. He wheels the Headman Hustler. Aaron Cam's Competition Products entry over there on the left-hand side. And he's still looking to get everything back on track. 6th race this year. Only the 2nd on the divisional level. Just trying to get that program back in a groove. Tony Bogolo, like we talked about earlier today, already a winner on the division trail. The new Camaro for him anyway. Stepping up to the forefront. At our race in Columbus, Ohio, when he was able to get around Todd Robertson in the final round. Bogolo sitting number 6, Andy number 8. Both of these cars, best runs in the 6-second zone. Both these cars certainly capable of getting down into that 5-second zone. And he would love to get rid of that 629 bump on his back. RPM's up, getting ready to stage him up and swap feet. That's a whole lot more better. How about Andy Bowl? 565, 264 miles an hour. Goes from the bump spot all the way up to number 2. Bogolo's best lap, a 590 at 230 miles an hour. He actually improved to number 5 with that run. But then Andy Bowl went around him with the 565 lap and pushed him back to number 6 again. The good news, Tony's going the right direction. The good news, Tony's still in the field. The good news, Tony Bogolo's going to make race day. Bad news is he's on the bottom half of the sheet. He'll be giving up lane choice for round number 1 of eliminations. For Andy Bowl, though, how about that run? 565.7, 264 miles an hour. One of their best runs of the season so far, and it puts them all the way up into the number 2 spot. Talked earlier today about the air being a little bit better, the conditions being a little bit better when we got around to the final qualifying session. Andy Bowl, Tony Bogolo certainly stepping up to the plate. Bob McCosh's 569, certainly indicative of that kind of performance numbers. Now let's see what Steve Burke can do. Burke, another one of our cars, stuck in that 6-second zone, at least so far. Steve taking ownership of the team. Bringing Bob DeVore on staff to help get everything lined out, figured out for the Camaro-bodied entry out of Texas over there on the left-hand side. Steve Burke's 612, now the bump spot. Tyler Scott, the Camaro-bodied entry over here on the right-hand side for the youngster coming down from Ontario, Canada. Tyler's 6:01, Steve's 6:12. The only two cars left, not in the 5-second zone. Well, we just saw Tony and Andy step up to the plate. See what Tyler and Steve can do now. As they roll in. Tyler Scott's falling back. How about a 575 for Steve Burke at 258 miles an hour? That'll move him up on the show. 767. Tyler Scott's going to end up being your number 8 qualifier. Burke with that 575 throws himself into the top half of the field in the number 4 position. So you got Chris Foster, Andy Bull, Raymond Drew, Steve Burke right now, your quick 4. Then Todd Robertson, Robert Feister, Tony Bogolo, and Tyler Scott down on the bottom half of the qualifying sheet. The champion Chevrolet Buick entry. Robert Feister getting ready to come up next, though, over here on the Chevrolet side of the racetrack. 588, 238, the best lap for Feister and crew. He and Mike Little and the rest of the gang. Raymond Drew up on the left-hand side. KW Manufacturing entry. There in the left-hand lane, the Hills Corner, Wisconsin-based runner. Drew and crew. Drew and crew coming off of the win over at Norwalk a couple of weeks back. They're into show number 3 at a 565 at 260 miles an hour. Drew looking to see if he can improve on a 565. Feister definitely wants to step up from a 588. Drew's already in the top half of the show. Feister would like to get into the top half of the show. Top half of the show important. Gives you lane choice. Does it make that much difference on this racetrack this weekend? I haven't seen it to be an issue. But you never know what's going to happen on the pair in front of you. And to have lane choice, have it in your pocket, just, a little bit of a psychological advantage. Instead of being told which lane you're going to run in, you get to tell them which lane you want to run in, your opposition lane. Meister needs to run down 574 or better to do it. Rob's car goes bang once again. How about a 563, 256 lap by Drew? Back-to-back 560 laps. 563, 565. Drew up to the number 2 spot now. Moving around Andy Bowles, 565. So it's Foster, Drew, Bowl, and Burke, your top 4. Todd Robertson, Rob Feister, Tony Bogolo, and Tyler Scott, your next 4 cars. Now, Robertson and gang, you heard the car go bang in the last round of eliminations. As they sit out this round, they are in the show, be it number 5 qualifier. Right now, they would line up against Steve Burke in the opening round. Chris Foster, your number 1 qualifier. For Chris and John and the rest of the boys out of the Quad Cities, getting ready to make their final qualifying effort. And they've had a couple of solid laps down this racetrack. 563 and a 558. Pretty much putting a stranglehold on that number 1 qualifying spot. Just waiting for the crew at the top end of the racetrack to say we're good to go. And as soon as we get the all clear from them, We'll tell the boys down here with Chris Foster's machine to spin it over and fire it up. And they just got the word to spin it over and fire it up. Oh, Foster doing his burnout. And again, your number one qualifier, 5:58, 259 miles an hour. Andy Bowles got top speed at 264. Chris Foster, though, the only car in the 550 zone. All right, Chris. Getting ready to stage it up. Pull it into the beams. Spin that engine up about 9,000, 10,000 RPM. Swap feet and head for the other end of the racetrack. They got another 550 lap loaded into it, ready for tomorrow. They're just looking for a good, consistent lap down the race. Whoop, that ain't going to happen. Jumped right up on the tires. Little wisp of smoke out of the back of that Monte Carlo bodied entry, and it'll be a coast on down the boulevard. Run for Chris Foster as he'll ease on through the timers, 12:97. So the field set, an alcohol funny car. Chris Foster 1. Ray Drew number 2. Andy Bowl number 3. Steve Burke number 4. Burke will come back to take on Todd Robertson. It'll be Rob Feister and Andy Bowl. Raymond Drew taking on Tony Bogolo, and Tyler Scott. Chris Foster will meet up in the opening round of eliminations when we get into alcohol funny car competition, round number 1 tomorrow. And for our Pro Stock Snowmobile semifinalists, need you all back to the lanes now, please. East side, the tower side staging lanes. As soon as we get the all clear down at the other end, we will switch over to Top Alcohol Dragster. Again, Pro Stock Snowmobile. Need our semifinalists to the tower side staging lanes, please. And Top Dragster. Boys and girls, guys and gals. Need you into the lanes now as well for your final qualifier. Jordan Vandergriff. One of the 7 cars on the property, not in the 8-car show. This is going to be a very interesting final round of qualifying. See who does get in, who doesn't get in. Right now, do you want into the show? 5:48.9 or better is what it's going to take to do it. Marty Thacker sitting on the bump, 5.490. Jordan Vandergriff, number 15 on the qualifying sheet. That means he's the last car on the sheet. Got a Bob Vandergriff Racing and Tony DeCero's Race Car Shop. Vandergriff up on the left-hand side will have one last opportunity to make the show. We're going to have 7 cars with one last opportunity to make the show. And if any of them get in, then we'll just keep going. until we set our 8-car field. Right now, those 8 cars, Jared Dreher, Josh Hart, Chris Dimke, Justin Ashley, Will Smith, Brandon Greco, J.P. Gutierrez, and Marty Thacker. On the outside, Jerry Powell, Troy Coughlin Jr., Dave Kovar, Robin Samsel, Jasmine Salinas, Jeff Chatterson, Jordan Vandergriff. 15 cars trying to squeeze into 8 spots. 5:48.9. We're going to see it? Nope. 5:58, 263 miles an hour. Give it a good run down the racetrack. That 5:58 is good for second alternate at this stage of the game. Jerry Powell's already been through at a 5:52, and by alternate I mean if any of our eight qualified cars aren't able to make the show, we go to the next qualified machine, number 9, number 10, number 11. See if they can make it up for round number 1. And Jordan Vandergriff and the DeCero bunch right now sit number 10. They may not end up there. There's 5 cars behind them. Going to shuffle the field a little bit more. Here comes 2 of them, Jasmine Salinas, Jeff Chatterson. Jasmine, who just got her licensing runs. Jasmine, who recently acquired her alcohol dragster license. Came up for the first round of qualifying last evening, had a fuel leak, had to get shut off. Second round earlier today of qualifying. Scrappers Racing entry. Came up, did the burnout. Just like that. When the car staged and hit the loud pedal, when the tree turned green, jumped right up on the tires. Jasmine coasted down track 21 seconds later. Jeff Chatterson, meanwhile, over here on the right-hand side. So Jasmine, her first race ever in the alcohol dragster category. Dad Mike, of course, campaigning this weekend in Epping. Certainly paying attention, I'm sure. Hope he's listening in on D3 TV if they're not out qualifying right now. And Mike, I can say this. Keep going, buddy. Love seeing that Scrappers entry out there in the top fuel battles. Need to get Jasmine some seat time, and I'm sure she'll be fine here in the alcohol dragster ranks as well. Jeff Chatterson down from Ontario. Got to tell you, that engine sounds a little funny to me. Chatterson on the right, Jasmine on the left, neither car in. 5:48.9 or better to make the show. Jasmine, 5:72, 259 miles an hour down the racetrack. Good run, just not enough. And that's the final shot that she'll have to make her way down track. But a good lap for the young lady out of California. Young up-and-coming driver. Mike better watch out. She might be taking over his seat before you know it. For Chatterson, 6:55, 214 miles an hour. He won't be in the show. Marty Thacker's 5:49.0. They're on the scoreboards. Remain safe. There's 2 more cars make their way down the racetrack, and 2 more cars come up just a little bit short on being able to get into this 8-car field. Robin Samsel and Dave Kovar rolling in next. Kovar's hot rod over here on the right-hand side, the injected machine out of Coal City, Illinois. The body man by profession. A former Chris Ricketts-driven alcohol dragster, a former Shelly Anderson-driven top fuel chassis. Kovar and crew been 589 and 202 miles an hour. They did that yesterday. Just need to pick up a little bit more today. See if they can get into the show. Samsel over on the left-hand side, the Indiana runner. 617, 217 miles an hour. That's a top 10 finishing car. It's a national event winning car. But for whatever reason right now, the combination just isn't there. Dave Kovar does his burnout. Samsel doing his burnout. You talk to the guys that own these cars and tune these cars, and they will tell you you can get just a tip off center and then spend a couple of months trying to find that sweet spot again. For Kovar and gang, they don't race a lot. Get out when the opportunity presents itself. For Robin Samsel and crew, they've been at this. Top 10 finisher, basically 10 years in a row. And this is their 7th event of the 2018 season. And they're not part of the 8-car field, at least not yet. For Kovar, only their second race. They showed up at the national event in Joliet to make the show. Their first regional event of the year. 589.9 their run last night. 617 the best for Samsel. Both drivers needed a pretty good run. Samsel looks like he pushed a header gasket out. The head gasket out goes 554. 260 miles an hour. Dave Kovar at 586 at 216. And once again, 2 more mount a charge. And 2 more fall back. Samsel may have had enough steam on that run, but you can see a little flash of flame over here on the right-hand side of the car as they got down track about the 1,000-foot mark. And at that point in time, the car basically quit pulling. Still 260 miles an hour, but it didn't have all the horsepower coming out of the engine that it normally would have with an intact head gasket. Looks like the track itself is okay. Waiting for the word from the top end turnaround crew. As soon as we get the official okay from them, and we've got it, we'll fire 2 more. Take 2 more shots, or at least 1 more shot. It's Troy Coughlin Jr. not in the show. And I got to tell you, the Jegs car over there on the left-hand side, a few weeks back in Norwalk, Ohio, made the show. #1 qualifier and won the event. And here we are, final qualifying run. And looking for everything they can get. JP Gutierrez and team, we talked earlier about John Paul and Phil and the rest of the family and all the work they do back in Detroit. Great family operation. Big tip of the cap to them for everything that they do back home. The MGM Grand Detroit entry over here on the right-hand side. They're in the show, 547. It's one of the blown alcohol contingent. They're on the right-hand side. But all eyes, I got to tell you right now, on that yellow car. Jegs entry over in the left-hand lane, not in. 548 to get in. You want to be #1. I'm sure Troy wouldn't mind being it. You want to be #1, you got to be 532.2. Can the car do it? Yeah. They going to do it on this run? Well, That's to be seen. But I got to tell you, it certainly is interesting going into this, the final session, with the Jegs car not in the show. Want to find out. Here we go. .537 will get him in at 278 miles an hour. 563 by JP. You could hear that one struggling a little bit down track. Gutierrez goes to the bump now. 547.3. Troy jumps into the show, albeit the bottom half at number 5. He will not have lane choice going into race day. That I can tell you. Still some cars behind, like Marty Thacker. He just got bumped out. Who wants to get bumped back in? He's now got to go 547.2. Are better to get back into the show and knock JP Gutierrez and team out. Told you this was going to be an interesting session to see who ended up being in the show and who ended up not being in the field. Marty Thacker. Twice he has won the U.S. Nationals here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Twice he has been the Jegs All-Star champion. More than one time he's been to the final round of both the regional and national event tour. Right now, though, their 549 is only good for number 1 alternate. Young Justin Ashley at the wheel of the Realty Machine, the second generation racer out of the Ashley clan. The wheel of one of the Randy Meyer fleet of race cars. For Epic Motorsports, Realty Marketing. Number 4 qualifier, Justin. Thacker has to get in if he wants to be a player. Number 9 qualifier. Like I said, twice he's won the U.S. Nationals on this racetrack. They have data. They know how to get down this quarter mile. Certainly a situation where they want to climb right back in for JP Gutierrez, Phil, and the rest of the family. They're that MGM Grand Detroit entry. They're down at the other end of the racetrack, listening in on 87.9, the FM station. See what Marty does. Oh, Thacker out of the groove, gets close to the wall, and will not qualify. How about Justin Ashley, though? 529, 272 miles an hour. Say hello to your new number 1 qualifier. Marty Thacker had some good short numbers, starting to make some power, but drifted a little bit out of the groove, and by the half-track mark, that dragster was getting awful close to that left-hand wall over there on the Skillman Auto Group lane. Marty Thacker said, wait a minute, I didn't bring my concrete wall inspector union card. He lifted off the throttle and coasted across 696 at 132. So for the team, Marty Thacker and crew, that's a tough break. They did not qualify for the field. They are the first alternate if somebody can't answer the bell come tomorrow. But it's not the same as being part of the show. For Justin Ashley, though, Randy Meyer and the gang, what a lap. 529, 272. Still not the top speed of the meet. Troy Coughlin's got that at 278 miles an hour. But, boy, did they knock the door down for that low number so far at a 529.3. Yowza. Will Smith, Chris Dimke getting ready to roll in next. Dimke for Jerry Mattern, the Pete Wright boys out of California. Here on the right-hand side of the racetrack. And Will Smith, the Alabama-based young man at the wheel of Dave Harada's hot rod. He's Then 539, 274. That's a 520 capable car. Dipke's hot rod with the air that's out there right now, I'd say that's a 520 capable car. The air is good. The track is good. It's all a matter of being able to figure out the combination that is going to work best for your particular hot rod to get down this racetrack. The amount of horsepower you make, being able to get it through the clutch, down to the ground, keep the car going forward. You can overpower it, you can underpower it, you can bring it in too quick, you can bring it in not quick enough as far as the power is. Top dragster needs you to the lanes, please. Top dragster needs you to the lanes. Final qualifier. You want to play? Come on down. Top dragster needs you to the lanes, please. All right. Dipke, number 4 qualifier. Will Smith, number 6. We know these guys are going to play tomorrow. The question is, from what position? Right now, Dipke's got lane choice. Will Smith doesn't. We're going to shuffle that around any? We could. Check the nitromethane left side for Dave Arata's car. Blown alcohol for the Peenright team, Jerry Mattern and crew. Here in the Chevrolet side. RPM's up. .530, Chris Dipke. Told you he was running a 520 pace. Just missed it by that much. 5.309. Dipke goes to the number 2 spot with that lap. Will Smith shuts it off to a 583. They had good short numbers. But you can see him start to wiggle a little bit down there towards the 1,000-foot mark, even a little bit before that. That shuts it off to a 583 at 184. They're in the show. Let's keep the car bright and shiny and keep the car ready to play tomorrow. Right now it's Justin Ashley 1, Chris Dipke 2, Jared Dreher number 3, Josh Hart number 4, Troy Coughlin 5, Will Smith number 6, Brandon Greco, who set out this session, sitting number 7, J.P. Gutierrez, who dodged the bullet of Marty Thacker and stays in the show, number 8 at a 547. 2 more to go. Jared Dreher and Josh Hart. They've been pushed back a little bit as far as the qualifying spots. Josh up on the left-hand side. Advance Auto Parts entry for the Bernie's Speed Shop. Florida-based team. Dreher Motorsports and crew. Well, I tell you, they have been chasing the tail a little bit this year, and that 5:32 lap earlier today had to give them a solid boost of confidence. 268-mile-an-hour run. They know there's more left in this machine. For Josh Hart, already a winner on the Mellow Yellow Tour this year. Picking up the Wally. Down in Atlanta, Georgia, just coming off a win, if memory serves me correctly, on the Division I race just a couple of weeks ago. And Jared Dreher and crew decide to push it off to the side, not make this final round. They're into show number 3. Now it looks like Dreher and team decided, hey, we're number 3. We got lane choice. We're in. We're good. Save some wear and tear, some parts and pieces, and a little budgetary money. So Josh Hart on a single, our final car down the racetrack. 5:32 and a 5:33. Can he jump into the 5:20s? Take that number 1 spot away from Justin Ashley. I got a feeling they're going to try. Let's see how well they do. Oh, that's a rocket ship. 5:29.7 at 270 miles an hour. And if you're wondering what that compares to with Justin's number, Justin was a 5:29.3. So by 4 thousandths of a second, Josh Hart moves into the number 2 spot. Justin Ashley, Randy Meyer, and crew hang on to that number 1 spot. So it'll be Justin Ashley taking on J.P. Gutierrez, Brandon Greco, and Josh Hart going side by side. Will Smith and Chris Dimke will match up in round number 1 come tomorrow. And in the opening round, first pair more than likely your number 4 and number 5 qualifiers. Jared Dreher with lane choice over Troy Coughlin Jr. As we call Comp Eliminator to the lanes now, please. Competition Eliminator needs you to the staging lanes, please. Scott Hagan and Ronnie Bray getting ready to do battle as we're in the semifinals of our Pro Stock Snowmobile category. Bray on the right-hand side, Hagan up on the left. Hagan, a proverbial final round contestant over there on the left-hand side of the racetrack. And Hagan not there. So Ronnie Bray makes the run down the racetrack. 824 at 149 miles an hour. And now we have Scott Hagan. Now we got Scott Hagan over on the left-hand side. He's taking on Glenn Hall. See who's going to the final round. Looks like it may be Scott one more time. Out of the gate and hustling through. 838 at 152 miles an hour. 858 by Glenn. Down at the other end of the racetrack. So Hagan's into the finals of our Pro Stock Snowmobile category. His top dragster getting ready to roll in for their final qualifier. And it'll be first pair coming up here in just a moment. Comp Eliminator needs you to the lanes, please. Comp Eliminator needs you to the staging lanes, please. And Super Comp guys and gals, I'm here to tell you we're getting closer to you. Got top dragster, Comp Eliminator, top sportsman to run, and then opening round number 1 of Super Comp. So we're not that far away. We're going to be knocking on your door, ringing your doorbell here in just a moment. So Super Comp, get them ready. Make sure the batteries are charged, the fuel's in the tank, the air's in the tire. Driver's had his caffeine, driver's ready to go. Al Peebler's Pro Charged entry, getting ready to roll up on the left-hand side, your number 6 qualifier, and Danny Waddle, your number 8 qualifier. The conventional supercharger up on top of the accurate concrete. Both cars in the show. We qualify the quick 32. We've got 34 cars on the ground. Dean McIlvain and Tom Elliott. The 2 cars not yet in the show. Everybody else getting laps down the racetrack. Getting a combination dialed in for the race weekend here at Indy. The weather today and the weather tomorrow is supposed to be nigh on to identical. So it's called gather as much data and as much information as you can. Get it while the getting's good. Peeler's been 612 best. Waddle's been 616 best. Number 1 qualifier, Ryan Smith at a 601. And the quickest you can go is a 6 flat. Waddle drifted a little out of the groove, shuts it off to a 6:56. How about a 6:11 by Pete? 6.111 lap moves him up a spot on the qualifying sheet to number 5. As I'm telling you, the conditions right now, prime time out there. Jeff Mandel for Profab Chassis and Jeff Libla. Over on the right-hand side, a Missouri-based M&M chassis car. Jeff over on the right-hand side, number 22 with a 638. Mandel there on the left with a 640. In fact, Jeff's been back-to-back 6.406 and 6.402. Couple of runs within just 4 thousandths of a second. And that, boys and girls, is how you win in Top Dragster and Top Sportsman. Have a consistent, very consistent race car. Doesn't have to be the quickest, fastest. Can be the slowest, just as long as it's consistent. And you can drive the stripe at the other end of the racetrack. Last time Jeff Mandel wants to see a red bulb. He goes 6:38 this time around, picks up a couple of hun. 6:30 by Jeff Libla, he picks up 0.08 of a second. Libla 6:30 puts him in a number 12 spot. Mandel goes into number 24. Bob Mandel III, the younger of the Mandel clan, the younger of the Profab chassis shop drivers. Now slides in on the left-hand side. He's up alongside Dean McElvain. Dean over here on the right-hand side, an 8:14 and an 8:08. And when you're looking down there at the scoreboards, and you're seeing the bump is Tony Pranger's 6:93. You know Dean McElvain's got some work to do. Needs to step it up a skosh. No, needs to step it up a lot more than a skosh. Needs to get down to that 6-second zone. If he wants to be a player. Come round number 1 of eliminations tomorrow. Again, Comp Eliminator needs you to lanes, please. Competition Eliminator to the lanes. Super Comp, you're going to follow Top Sportsman. They're going to follow Comp Eliminators. Get them ready. McElvain still with problems. Not going to get into the show. That is a consistent 8-second car. Unfortunately, you need to have a consistent 6-second car. Like Mandel, who's gone 6:30, 6:30, and 6:30 down the racetrack. I might put my money on Bob Mandel to third tomorrow. Back to back to back 6:30s. Hello. Patty Fisher up, theracingRVs.com. Boss Lady over there on the left-hand side. Ed Dudley over here on the right. Edwards. Been to the final round a couple of times already this year. Dudley with a win and a runner-up. First 2 races. Says, hey, let's go for the trifecta. He's in the show number 11, 6:28. Patty's in number 10 at a 6:28. 4 thousandths of a second difference between their laps down the racetrack. But again, this is qualifying. Race day will come tomorrow, and it will be a whole new day. Patty 6:34 lap, 2:19 doesn't give her any assistance. 6:26, Dudley picks up a couple of hun. 6:26 at 212 miles an hour. We'll slide him around Tim Papp's machine. He was number 10. He's now number 9. Lynn Ellison, your reigning world champ. The RacingRVs.com, top dragster category. Central City, Kentucky-based runner at the wheel of the pirate ship over there on the left-hand side. Bride Shannon, Checks out everything before Lynn sets sail to the other end of the racetrack. And Tom Fisher, patriarch of the RacingRVs.com team. Said it before and I'll say it again. You think you're having a bad day? Try living in Tom's world. 18 on the tree, 6:26, 218 miles an hour. The best lap of the weekend for Tom. 6:37 by Lynn. Lynn goes in 2. The number 23 spot, the 6:26 for Tom Fisher. Moves him all the way up to number 9. Good run for him. Ryan Smith and Dan Norris. They're 6:01, still leading the pack. Chris Carrico and Mike Trouth rolling in next. Trouth over here on the right-hand side. That is a gorgeous undercover chassis machine for the runner out of Kentucky. Carrico up on the left-hand side, the Spitzer chassis ride. For 2014 champ. Christopher also a past super quick champion here in the division. Bradley stepped out in front of the car, said, hold on a minute, boys. Make sure we're cleared around the bend at the top end. He finally gets the word via the radio. Trouth hikes the front end up, sets it right back down. Trouth heads through 6:42, 2:11. No help there. 6:28 by Carrico. 213 miles an hour. He goes from number 19 up to number 13. On the qualifying sheet, he goes from the bottom half to the top half, and the aforementioned lane choice that we talked about in the alcohol dragster and alcohol funny car ranks. Same thing holds true here. You're a top half qualifier in the opening round. You get lane choice over your competitor who comes from the bottom half of our 32 car field. Christopher just earned that right by going that 6:28 lap. Mike Trouth will succumb to whichever lane he is assigned by his competitor in the opening round. Jared Jones rolls in down. Madison Ellison saw Lynn go down track, and Lynn picked up. Let's see if Madison can do the same in the Women Rock Team Race Pack. Collector Tethers hot rod over here on the right-hand side. College student out of Central City here in the right-hand lane. Jones up on the left in the diesel. The Scheid diesel service. That is a Cummins diesel like you would find in a Dodge Ram truck. Well, kind of, sort of. The basic engine came from there. It's been modified slightly. Yeah. You got a Dodge Ram with a Cummins diesel. You don't quite have the turbocharge effect that Jared's got. .647, 221 miles an hour, improves for Jared. 6:33 by Madison, improves her number as well. Madison, though, will be in the bottom half, number 19. Jared's number 28. Got problems down on the top end of the racetrack. Big puff of smoke down there. Looks like the diesel may have quit pumping proficiently. So we'll send a crew out on the top end of the racetrack. Follow the diesel around the corner, make sure that the shutdown area, and again, well down track in the shutdown area. But we'll stop, put everybody on hold here for just a moment while we check the top end. Dan Phelps and Jimmy Prevost getting ready to come at us. Phelps out of Missouri. The Raleigh Competition Engines Race Tech chassis car for Dan over in the left lane. Waiting for the official word to come back from the other end of the racetrack. And looks like all's well in the diesel world down at the other end for the Scheid diesel machine. Jimmy Prevost out of Illinois, the Rowan Morrison-powered machine. Up next over here on the Chevrolet side of the racetrack is Dan Phelps. Dan's in the show, albeit just barely. At a 675, but I think I can safely say that Dan's going to get a play tomorrow. And you know what? I've said it before. I'll say it again, and I'm going to say it right now. You just have to be in the show to win. Can't tell you the number of times I've seen a car come out of the bottom half of the field, and I mean the bottom half of the field, just based on pure consistency and driver ability. They keep knocking out the quicker cars in front of them and around them and behind them. Go on to win the event. Phelps 630. Dan's a good driver. 675, 676 is 2 runs down the racetrack. He goes 675 and 676 all day tomorrow. Keep going rounds. 667 this time around at 203. 633 by Prevost. Dan steps up, but he stays number at 30. Prevost steps up a hun and doesn't improve either. But again, both drivers in, and that's the important part. Here's your bump car. Tony Branger, and I do believe Tony has survived and will make the show. We've seen Dean McElvain, and I have not seen Tom Elliott since last night. So I think Tom had problems on last night's run, packed it up, and headed home. Unfortunate break for that gorgeous automobile. But unfortunately, we're at a drag race and not a car show. So Branger's going to survive. His 693 will be around to play tomorrow. Tim Papp, body shop owner and former winner on the tour. Over the right-hand side, the Oakley Motorsports powered entry. Get Comp Eliminator. If you're not in the lanes yet, you're a little tardy. We need you. Comp Eliminator needs you to the staging lanes, please. Branger muscles through 686 at 195, his best lap of the weekend. Tim Papp's hot rod doesn't go anywhere. It looks like they're going to push him back off the line. A tough break for Tim, but he's in the show, number 11, so he'll be around. First round of eliminations tomorrow. Move back the Vibrotite car. Pascal Lecomte up a little bit to make room to get him out. So, Pascal Lecomte and Jack Sackman. Going to see what they can do here in this final qualifier. Sackman 6:09 and 6:10 laps for the Hangster first. Entry over there on the left-hand side. Got them sitting number 4 with that hot rod. Pascal over in the right-hand lane. 684 his best with the Vibrotite machine. A couple of Spitzer chassis cars getting ready to work their way down the racetrack. .608 by Zach, so he's gone 608, 609, and 610. Now on qualifying laps. Pascal Motors through 7 flat at 208 miles an hour. The driver's slowing down on the other end of the racetrack to make the bend down there. Zachman 608.0 moves him around Joe Fisher from number 4 up to number 3. And the Novak family and the Novak Electric team out of Fairfax, Iowa, up on the left-hand side. Brandon Martinson, another Iowa-based runner over here on the right-hand side. Emily, love to pick up the pace a little bit. Right now, she's 6:33 best, puts her number 18. She could pick up about 0.04 of a second. Go from the bottom half of the field to the top half of the field. Love nothing more going into round number 1 with lane choice. They're close. But we all know close counts and horseshoes and hand grenades. See how close she can get going down the track here at a drag race. Brandon Martinson, meanwhile, over here on the right-hand side, the Racecraft chassis machine. Emily goes through 6:38. She needed 4. She got 5, but she's got 5 going the wrong direction. Slowed down 5 rather than picking up 4. So Emily will stay 18. Brandon Martinson goes 6:58. His best run of the weekend, but he'll stay number 29 on the qualifying sheet. Again, comp eliminator, you should be in the lanes. Looks like we got a little quick track check. Nope. We're clean, they say. Hot diggity, diggity, what you do to me. Jeff Strickland, the stickerpunk.com. Signpunk.com entry over there on the left-hand side. Another one of the cars down in the bottom half of the field. Not going to be the quickest, not going to be the fastest, but it will be consistent. With Strickland sitting in the cockpit and at the controls, got to tell you, wouldn't count him out for a Wally tomorrow either. Ryan Smith, though, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Right now, Ryan looking at the accolades of being your number 1 qualifier for the Oakley competition, Diamond Pistons. Top dragster category, 526 cubic inches, a Chrysler Fiat Hemi. Coming out of the Raleigh competition engine shot, 6:01.4, the best. How about a 6:01.0? Wow. Wow. 6:01.4, 6:01.0. Everybody else now has a area about that wide, he said, holding his fingers apart an inch to take that number 1 spot away from Ryan. What's even more impressive is the back-to-back laps within 0.04 of a second at the 6:0 pace. That's crazy. Strickland, meanwhile, not to get lost in the shuffle. His best lap of the weekend moves him into the 23rd spot, 6:36 at 215 miles an hour. Justin Mosier's machine, the Mosier Engineering. American chassis car there on the left-hand side. And Dan Norris. Dan was number 2. Dan is number 2. He was 6:01.5. Just a thousandth of a second behind that Ryan Smith kid. Now he's 5 thousandths of a second behind. Doesn't have a whole lot of room to work with if he wants to be number 1. He can go 6.009 to 6.000 to take the number 1 spot away. That's like threading a needle at 230 miles an hour. Let's see how his seamstress capabilities are. 5.99.7, missed it by that much. 230 mile an hour lap, Justin Mosier. 6.17 by Justin. Puts him into the number 8 spot, number 9 spot. Dan Norris is 5.99. Gets thrown out because in the top dragster class, brought to you by Oakley Engineering and Diamond Pistons, you cannot go quicker than 6.000. So Norris is 5.99.7. Gets tossed. Ryan Smith stays number 1. Justin Mosier now number 9 with that 6:17 lap. Danny Nelson, chassis builder out of Arkansas. Danny could turn up the wick here a little bit. 6:18 and 6:11. Don't know that he's got a 6 flat in that new car. And it is a brand new car for the chassis builder down at Racecraft Chassis. Up alongside Tom Martino. Not that Martino, this Tom Martino out of Youngstown, Ohio. Danny Nelson, you can hear him on and off the throttle a bit. I think he may have been going for it. 7.99 at 105 miles an hour. We'll probably never know for sure. 6.38 by Martino. Top picks up the pace a little bit. His best run of the week. It'll stay number 6 on the qualifying sheet. Casey Spradlin rolls in, the Southeastern Hose Miller chassis car. The electrical engineer getting ready to make his lap and final qualifying effort down the Skillman Auto Group side of the racetrack here at Indy. Looks like we got a couple of single runs over on the left-hand side. The drivers are assigned lanes to run in each session. First session left, second session right, third session left, or vice versa as the case might be. A couple of left lane singles left to finish out this final qualifier. Spradlin's gone 6:40 and 6:35. How about another 6:35? That's a good, consistent car. The Miller chassis machine over there on the left-hand side. She'll stay number 22. And last but not least, the man who helps bring our top dragster competition to us every weekend, Philip Oakley. Oakley Motorsports, Oakley Competition Engines. The Texas Roadhouse car over there on the left-hand side. Ooh, that sounds good. A filet, medium rare, baked potato. Yeah. 718 cubic inches, a big Ford power. Oakley, your number 21 qualifier right now. Been 6:51 and 6:34. Top Sportsman needs you to the lanes now, please. Top Sportsman. Your turn to fall on in right behind our Comp Eliminator boys, and that tells me Super Comp better be getting ready. 6:38, 2:12 by Oakley. No improvement. He will stay number 21. So congratulations, Ryan Smith. 6.010, your number one qualifier. Then Dan Norris, Zach Sackman, Joe Fisher, Al Peevler, Danny Nelson, JB, Danny Waddle, your quick 8. Rounding out the rest of the field, Justin Mosier, Tom Fisher. The Racing RVs machine, Ed Dudley, your 2-time finalist, Tim Papp, Patty Fisher from RacingRVs.com, Chris Carrico, Bob Mandel, the chassis builder, and Jeff Libla, Missouri runner, number 16 on the qualifying sheet. Comp Eliminator final qualifying session coming at us is again top of Sportsman. Hopefully competition engines, Diamond Pistons, top Sportsman cars need you to the lanes, please. John Freck, Jason Cohen pulling into the stage beams now. They're doing their burnouts, I should say. Freck, your number 18 qualifier. Cohen, your number 10 qualifier. 4 cylinders a pair. Freck's dragster, just a little bit bigger power plant than Cohen's. 32 Bantam machine. Nickname for the car, the Jackrabbit. A little 4-cylinder. Automatic transmission coming in out of that Cohen transmission shop. The Cohen Engineering boys down in Kokomo. Freck's been a best of an 809, goes 806. There's 300ths of a second. 811 by Jason. Jason now 64 under the index and say hello to your new number one qualifier. Freck at 53 under the index. But Jason fires off that 811 shot at 157 miles an hour. Puts the Jackrabbit machine right smack dab at the top of the heap. 64-4 under the index. All right, the gauntlet's been thrown. See what Ray Skillman, Andrew Holt, and the rest of the Comp Eliminator kids can do. Holt's little left dragster, the Honda-powered entry over here on the right-hand side. Another 4-cylinder combination, and Skillman's Chevrolet-powered Ford Mustang. Guess you could say the Skillman Automotive Group well represented. Both Ford and Chevrolet. All at the same time with that C. Econo Alter. Ray's been down track at a best of an 808. Right now he's number 14. This 24-car field. Andrew Holt's number 21 with an 825 best. Well, we know the air's good. Just saw Jason Cohen step it up. See what the Columbus, Ohio-based runner over here, Andrew Holt, could do. Holt's hot rod at 895 lap at 110. You could hear him slowing going down the racetrack. Skillman, though, picks up a couple of hun. 806 will put him 55 under the index now. We continue to finalize our qualifying efforts, get our fields set for Elimination Day tomorrow, Sunday, here at Lucas Oil Raceway. David Billingsley and Jim Promozic Next pair coming in. Top Sportsman, need your lanes, please. Top Sportsman, you guys want to run that final qualifier. Need your lanes now. Top Sportsman needs you to the staging lanes, please. Billingsley's eye-altered automatic. Oh, big wheel stand out of the Camaro for the runner out of Decatur. Sets the front end back down. Can he improve on an 813? He does. He goes 810. 163 miles an hour. 738 by Promotional, his best run of the weekend. Jim now 21 under. Billingsley, though, up to the number 3 spot at 61 under the index. Moving around a couple of cars and into that number 3 position. It's Pete Pollock and James Smith do their burnouts and get ready to rock and roll down the racetrack. The be-altered planetary is Smith. Over here on the right-hand side, 7:30 the lap. Holds him in the 56 under spot, number 7. 765 for Pollock's Firebird, the C-altered automatic over there on the Skillman Automotive Group side of the racetrack. He's down at the bottom. Qualified field. Again, Top Sportsman needs your lanes, please. Top Sportsman to the lanes. Super Comp, get them ready. You're soon to follow. So Pollock on the left. Smith on the right. Smith, 7:27, picking up 300ths of a second. That'll put him 59 under the index. 7:70 by Pollock, no help. Smith goes into the number 5 qualifying spot now, 59 under. Moves up a couple spots from number 7 to number 5 with that lap. Continue to shuffle the field around a little bit. Dave Dupps was number 1 when the session started, been bumped back to number 2. He's gone 8:21. That puts him 63 under. Dave Dupps, what's the number 1 spot back? Needs to pick up 7/1000ths of a second. That means he needs to run a 7.205 or better to take the run. Well, he's got, an 8:20 with a 5 or better. He's got 8:21 already, so car certainly has the steam to do it. Does he want to be? Will he be your number 1 qualifier? Greg Camplain sits number 8 right now. His dragster out of Mont Comfort RV over there on the left-hand side. B dragster automatic for the former U.S. Nationals champ, the former division Super Comp champ. So keep an eye on that Chevrolet scoreboard. See if we get an 8.205 or better run. See if we have a new number 1 qualifier again. Hikes the front end up, sets it down, working towards the other end of the racetrack. Going to go through 8:16 at 162. Yep, I think he wanted that number 1 spot back. 6:84.2. Camplain's gone back-to-back on runs 1/1000th of a second apart, but Dave Dupps says, hey, Jason, hey, David, 68 under the index. That's your new number 1 qualifying bullseye. And Dupps right back up to the top of the heap. And that, I do believe, will probably stay, as we've already seen Jason Cohen take a shot. He took a good shot and moved to number 1. David Billingsley's been down track. Jim Greenhack, though, yet to come up. James Smith, I do believe. Jim Promotional Jr., Chad Vogus. Greg Camplain, no. 684.2, 684.1. How about Jim Promotional Jr.? Here's your number 6 qualifier. He wants to be number 1. He's got to find a 720 range. Can he? Possibly. Ronnie Bone over here on the right-hand side. That little dragster That could be number one. 778. Not going to do it on that run. He's 57 under. 733. That's 60 under by Promotion. So Jimmy goes to number 5. Bone in the number 8 spot at 57 under. 2 good runs. Not enough to upset Dave Dupps in that number 1 spot, though. Again, Top Sportsman needs you to lanes, please. If you're not in the lanes yet, you're late, you're tardy, you're MIA, you're AWOL. What am I missing out there on Coyle? Well, that could be too. If you're not there yet, well, we may just go without you. It's Brian Browl and Robert Bailey. Get ready to plug them in. The little V6 over on the left-hand side, the big V8 over here on the right hand. It's got a couple of rear engine dragsters getting ready to make their way down the racetrack. Browl, 49 under, 734. Best he's been able to muster. 54 under and a 669 for Bailey. Over here on the right-hand side. You want to be in the top 10? 56.5 under the index to get there. Bailey's close. Brian needs to really step it up over there, the little V6. The Brow Bell housing entry. They're on the Skillman Auto Group side of the racetrack. Here we go. $7.15 at 184 miles an hour. That'll play. 671 at 200 miles an hour. Wow. Brian Brow goes 68.4 under the index. Misses the number 1 spot by 4 thousandths of a second. But he makes the big move. Goes from the bottom half of the field all the way up to number 2 with that lap. Robert Bailey, 671, does not improve on his earlier 669. And actually gets bumped back a spot because Brian Brow went from behind him to way out in front of him on the qualifying sheet, and that bumps Bailey back to number 15. Here's Alan Wilson's D Supermod automatic for the body shop owner. Another Kokomo-based team. And Jeremy Bailey's a dragster automatic here on the right-hand side. Saw Robert go down track moments ago. Here's Jeremy. Jeremy's 49 under the index. Alan Wilson. 1 good lap down the racetrack. That was an 8:48 by Wilson. Came up earlier today. Car stumbled at the get-go. Didn't stumble this time. Keep an eye on that Skillman Auto. Nope, he's already slowing. Thought he might be on a good run there. 11:02 to 82 miles an hour. Gave it a shot. 6.66. Bailey's best run of the weekend. He's now 50 under the index. 203 miles an hour down at the other end of the racetrack. Jeremy stays in the number 19 spot. Didn't quite pick up enough to get around Scott Shamdis. Chad Vogus, the K altered automatic entry. There's another car could jump up to that number 1 position. 58 under. They need to pick up a 10. Steve Ambrose over here on the right-hand side, the 6-cylinder 23T. For Ambrose and Bob Hutman in the gang. Well, inline, 300 cubic inch Ford 6-cylinder power plant. Steve sitting number 17, his best lap, a 51 under run. Got to believe that starting line's about as good as it's going to get. It's been in the shadows now for quite a while. Should be good and tight. Looks like they're going to shut Ambrose off. So it'll be a single run for Chad. As he goes motoring through 7:55 at 169 miles an hour. That'll pick him up 6 hundredths of a second, or excuse me, 6 hundredths of a second. Bogus now at 63 under. That'll shuffle the field around a little bit more because he jumps up to the number 4 qualifying spot. And a tough break for Steve Ambrose. A little bit of oil leaking out of the car, we're understanding. Yep, can see it from here. Got a little cleanup to do there on the starting line. So Steve misses out on what is probably the best qualifying session of the weekend. Dave Dupps, 68 under. Brian Browl at 68 under. Jason Cohen at 64 under. Chad Vogus at 63 under. Billingsley at 61 under. They'll hook the strap onto Ambrose's machine and haul it back to the pit area. And, hey, if you're going to get shut off for a leak, best to be doing it during qualifying and not during eliminations. At least that way you have the opportunity to get her fixed, get her ready to go for the opening round of eliminations tomorrow. And again, Top Sportsman, need you to the lanes, please. Top Sportsman to the lanes. Super Comp, get them ready. You're going to be coming up quickly. So it looks like a little cleanup there on the Chevrolet side of the racetrack's been taken care of. Jim Greenhack rolling in, that gorgeous racecabinet.com entry. Over here on the right-hand side of the racetrack, the de-altered automatic Chevrolet Camaro. Brian Simonek. Screaming little Honda power plant. Brian's car under the F Dragster Automatic Index, albeit just a skosh. But he's got consistency going in his favor. 8:59 and 8:59. 2 laps down this racetrack, back-to-back within a thousandth of a second of each other. So we're just about to finish up our final comp qualifying session. Top Sportsman already in the lanes, getting paired up for their final qualifier. Super Comp, you will be following in right behind once we get all of our Top Sportsman cars in. Hope you got them ready to go for round number 1. You're coming up next. So Greenhack is in number 6 at a 761. He puts this thing down in the 750s. You could find a new number 1 qualifier. Looks like a pretty good run. Looks like a 758 lap at 176. And an 851 by Simonek. Brian's best run of the weekend. Greenhack now 63 under. Moves him up to the number 5 spot. Brian now 26 under the index, his best run of the weekend. Mike Farrell's machine going to make a single run down the racetrack as he was assigned to this side of the track, and he will make his final qualifier in the right lane as he was assigned when he checked in and got his run card. Louisville-based runner over here on the right-hand side, B Street Roadster. Gorgeous automobile, small block Chevrolet. Mike and CJ, father and son. Farrell goes through 780 at 169. That puts him 60 under the index. Moves them up a little bit on the qualifying sheet. Farrell will now sit in the number 9 spot. Well, almost 60 under, 59.5. Slides him in right behind James Smith, right in front of Ron Bone's entry. And Todd France getting ready to roll in. It's like our next to the last comp eliminator machine, 686, 56 under lap. He wants to be number 1. He's got to go 674. Over here on the right-hand side, Chevrolet lane for the auto body painter out of Louisville. Irvin Johns, Todd France Racing, Spitzer chassis machine. Small block powered car over here on the right-hand side. .682, Todd picks up 400ths of a second. 191 mile an hour run out of the dragster. Todd at 60 under the index now moves up to number 7. And I do believe we have reached our final comp eliminator machine. Troy Galbraith, champion of the division and number 3 in the country last year. Sitting in that number 13 spot right now. Don't know if Troy being a little superstitious or not, but hey, the way everybody else is picking up this session, I don't look for him to stay there. 676, 56 under on this B Dragster automatic entry. So Troy probably make about a 672 lap. Let's see how well my prognostications work out. 676. I wasn't even close. Thanks for playing. As a parting gift, we have 676-1. Galbraith does pick up 4 thousandths of a second. 194 miles an hour, and that'll round up comp eliminator. We go from comp eliminator into top sportsman final qualifying. This is the field that's going to certainly be interesting. 39 cars. Try to make a 32-car show. Kenny Langlois, Bob Wright, already in the program, right on the left-hand side, the Cobalt. Langlois already in the show, the Lang transmission, 63 Corvette over here on the right-hand side. He's number 26. Bob Wright, number 10. Final qualifying for our Oakley competition, Diamond Pistons. Top sportsman runners, 697, 198, Langlois, no help. 747. And the call goes out. Super Comp, we've been telling you to get them ready. The time is on nigh. Come on down. Super Comp needs you to the lanes, please. Round number one. Super Comp to the lanes, please. Round number one. It's Bill Yates. Bill not in the show. 788 at 164. Had problems. Jumped up on the tires yesterday. Got a little goofy coming off the line today. One final run for the former Super Gas runner. Trying to get this new Camaro dialed in, settled in. Want to make the show. Got to go quicker than Billy Thoman, 7:30. Yates' car can do it. It's a matter of hooking it up and going straight and doing it. Bad Eye Breiniger's Mustang here on the right-hand side. Already done it, 680 and 669. Number 9 qualifier. He's in the show to stay. $6.59, Bill Yates. I told you he could do it. 210 miles an hour. Yates goes all the way up to the number 4 spot, and Angie goes, whew, about time, Bill. Breiniger goes 680. No improvement on his 669. Actually gets bumped back a spot. This Bill Yates knew that Camaro could get into the show. Did it quite nicely, quite soundly. 659.9 and up to the number 4 spot. Angie probably over there saying a couple of hallelujahs. Maybe a few other words. Jeff Sexton and John Taylor. John with the former Greg Stanfield-driven Pro Stock truck, now with a whole lot of big cubic inch rat-motored Chevrolet underneath the hood, and Jeff Sexton's Chevy Cavalier on the left-hand side. 632 cubic inches. Quite a common engine size here in the top sportsman category, but I'm also going to tell you that 800, 900 cubic inch engines, well, they aren't the norm, are certainly out there. Sexton's in the show, number 26. John Taylor's in the show, the runner out of Florida in Gulfside Elevator. He's in the show, number 28. Taylor's going to shoot and drop back, 684. Sexton picks up 400ths of a second. 910 and 99 miles an hour for Taylor. After that run down the racetrack, Sexton, 684, now puts him in the number 24 spot. Dave Goins. Chad Peckrell. Chad's not in the show. Dave Goins not in the show. The bump down at the other end, now Jonathan Smitty, 728. You want to play, you got to get there. Goins has gone 735. Peckrell's gone 731. So they're close. You can hear them pounding on the door trying to get in. But this is their last opportunity to beat that door down and climb into the program. Goins, the pigeon wrangler, as he lists his occupation, out of New Hudson, Michigan. I think pigeon wrangler falls second in line behind cat herder. One of the more difficult jobs out there. Peckrell on the right. An accountant by profession. Let's see if he can stack up the numbers he needs. He's Bickle-built Camaro over here on the right-hand lane. .683 Peckrell. Beats on the door, beats on it enough. He gets in at 198 miles an hour. He's now number 24. Dave Goins goes 731. Best run of the weekend and still misses it by that much. He is your third alternate in the number 35 qualifying spot right now. Kynan Dinkel. He's already been to the final round this year. Did it The opening race over in Columbus. Brandon Baxter, who came up in the last round, made one shot down the racetrack and climbed right into the top half of the number 7 spot. 663, 210 miles an hour with the Mopar car out of Illinois. Nichols Cavalier for the college professor out of Terre Haute sits number 3. So both of these cars in well into the show. Again, Super Comp, need you to lanes, please. Super Comp. Needs you to the staging lanes, please. Super Comp. To the lanes, round number 1. Check the weather station. Make sure you got all your numbers calculated correctly. Get them dialed into the box and come on down. Or better yet, come on down and carry your portable pager with you and get the numbers dialed in once you get here. Because they're going to continue to change a little bit as the sun sinks slowly in the west. Brandon Baxter, 663 on the opening lap. Let's see what he does here. 658. Picks up a little bit more. 211 miles an hour, 647. Dinkel steps up to the plate. Dinkel number 3, Baxter down number 4 on the qualifying sheet. Benjamin Board still number 1, Aaron Glazier number 2. Then Dinkel, then Baxter, then Bill Yates. Bill Yates with that 659. Talk about a Hail Mary run. Zoomers. Number 38 on the qualifying sheet up to the number 4 spot. Well, he's now back to number 5, but by gosh, by golly, we know he's going to be playing come tomorrow. Bruce Barthup, the Grand Dam out of Dynamo Racing over on the left-hand side, and Stephen Breiniger. Another one of the Breiniger clan at the wheel of the all-Ford Mustang-bodied entry over here on the right-hand side. Mark down at the bottom of the field with that Pontiac. He sits number 30 at a 698. And you got to know that with the cars that are out there, certainly would like to put a little bit of distance between him and that bump spot. John Oxtedler sitting on the bump at a 705. Larry Connolly at a 704. They're the 2 cars behind him. Breiniger's in the top half. He's safe. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's just looking to get another good lap down the racetrack. Barth stepping up from a 698. 695 will do it, 196 miles an hour. 671 by Breiniger. Barth picks up 1 qualifying spot. Well, one's better than none. Breiniger goes 671.6, 207 miles an hour, his best run of the weekend. Moves him up a spot to number 12. So both drivers able to inch their way a little bit further up the ladder. Larry Connolly and Tim Kernan roll in. Connolly, one of the aforementioned runners we talked about a while ago. Well down on the bottom of the bubble, 704. 196 miles an hour, his run. He sits number 31. Tim Kerman, 680 lap, his best. It's number 21. Barth was able to put him and John Taylor in between him and the Connolly car. Let's see what Larry can do. Can he pick up the pace here a little bit? And again, I'm telling you, starting line's got to be as good as it's been all day. It's been in the shade. It's had the opportunity to cool down. In fact, the majority of the track down there to the half-track mark, you got some horsepower. You can apply it at this point in time. 661 by Kerman. That's a big step forward. 748, 187 by Connelty. You can see the car out there about 300, 400 feet. Just a little bit of a twitch. Larry had to hold just a moment, get her back into the groove. But Tim Kerman, man, talk about stepping up. 661 moves him all the way up to the number 7 spot on the sheet. Larry Connelty hanging on to that number 31 qualifying spot. Greg Burba and Tommy Stoltz slide in next. And again, Super Comp. Need you to lanes, please. Super Comp. To the lanes, boys and girls. Come on down. Super Comp. Need you to the staging lanes, please. Suburban number 26 with the Dodge Stratus over there on the left-hand side. Stoltz number 18, both drivers on the bottom half of the sheet. Want to make your way into the top half, you got to go quicker than 673.5 to get into the top half. Both drivers on the bottom half looking to get in to the top. Let's see what they can do. Shoots out early for Stoltz, goes 678, 684 by Burba. Burba picks up 107 seconds. At 680, 678 lap by Stoltz. Not quite as good as his earlier 677. He was on a good run. I mean, he runs within 1/100th of a second of his best run, but he is 65 miles an hour slower. That was a good run. Stoltz's car looked like it was drifting around a little bit down there, and better to be safe than sorry. Pop the chutes and bring it out. Benjamin Board, your number one qualifier, 622 and 618. Rich Smith over on the right-hand side, the Wentzville, Missouri-based runner. R.L. Smith Trucking Company owner. See, Rich Smith and R.L. Smith. Think they might be one and the same? Strong possibility. Smith, your number 15 qualifier, Board numero uno. Board was getting after it. Car wasn't having anything to do with it, but he was. 667. 205 miles an hour for the trucking company owner out of Missouri. Picks him up a little bit. 205 miles an hour, 18:15 for your number one qualifier. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to go into first round of elimination with your worst run of the weekend. Unfortunately, it's what Benjamin Board's going to do. Rich Smith goes from number 15 up to number 10 with that 667 lap as Justin Souders rolls in. The young man out of Louisville up on the left-hand side. And Eric Burnett, the Indiana-based Chevy Cavalier out of Professional Marine Service. Means he takes care of boats, not United States Marines. Burnett over on the right-hand side, not in the show. That's a turbo car. You'll hear him pull up to the beams and start spooling that turbo up. 776 best run. And I got to tell you, that's a car that can get in. So if I'm John Hochstetler right now, I'm nervous. Hochstetler sitting on the bubble with a 705. We're 2 cars away from an all 6-second field, by the way. Souders in the show with the 668 best out of that Camaro over on the left-hand side, but I'm going to watch Eric Burnett. See what that turbo car can do. Cavalier over here on the Chevrolet side of the racetrack. Souders there in the Skillman lane. Hey, he's in. He's going to play. We'll see him tomorrow. Let's see if Eric can upset the apple cart here a little bit. Six, 7, 7. 214 miles an hour, and I think the apple cart just got upset a little bit. 1160 at 86 miles an hour by Souders. Burnett, who was driving that car down the racetrack because it was out of the groove towards the right-hand wall. But Eric's like, I want to play. So he stays in it. Drives it, 677, 214 miles an hour, and up to the number 20 spot. And John Hochstetler, the call just went out. Better come prepared. You're on the outside looking in. Dwayne Gallagher, heating and air conditioning technician out of Ohio, up alongside Vince Nannini. Nannini's Oldsmobile in the earlier qualifying session got all sorts of twisted up on the starting line. Made a move towards that center stripe. It's got to be hoping that he's got everything calmed down a little bit now. Vince in the show, number 16. Gallagher in the show, number 28. I think we could safely say we'll see both of these cars for round number 1 tomorrow. Just a matter of who they're going to face in eliminations. Gallagher's car this time made a move to the left. Nannini, meanwhile, goes 6.665. 207 miles an hour, his best run of the week. The number 16 qualifier. Shuffles up a little bit. And Nannini goes from number 16 all the way to number 9 with that run. Bob Mandel Jr. now is the number 16 qualifier. You want to be in the top half of the field, you got to go quicker than Bob. 672.2. 2.2. Gallagher stays in the show, albeit not making the lap he wanted to. You're scoring back in the pit area, a 14.56 lap after he shut the Corvette off for going left. Aaron Glazier, number 2 qualifier. Shepherdsville, Kentucky based. Body shop owner. 634, 214. Kyle Camp. He's in the show in the bottom half of the field, number 19. Here's a car could pick up 0.05 of a second. Move up into the top half of the field. Bradley saying, excuse me, sir, I need to get your door for you. And Aaron Glazier getting pushed off the starting line. He's number 2. .677, 677, and a 683 by Kyle Camp. 77.5 and a 77.2 this time around. Tough break there for Glazier. He's not able to make the pass down the racetrack. Kyle stays number 19, picking up just a few thousandths of a second. Rick Soika, John Smitty, another one of the cars not in the show. 728, the best for Jonathan. The Boonville, Indiana-based glass man. A glazier by profession. Don't know if he does automotive glass or building glass or big building glass or what kind of glass, but he is a glazier. Right now, he's a D&Q. Rick Soik up on the left-hand side, the Firebird out of North Aurora. Super Comp, you should be in the lanes. Round number 1, getting ready to come up. Super Comp, you're not there, you're late, you're tardy, you're MIA, you're AWOL. You get the idea. We need you, we want you, we got to have you. Soik is in the show, number 21. Jonathan Smitty here on the Chevrolet side, and the Oldsmobile isn't. Is his weekend about to come to a conclusion? Is he going to stretch it out a little bit longer and get a stay and play on Sunday? .737 by Smitty. His weekend, unfortunately, comes to a conclusion. 673 by Soika. He actually picks up. Oh, he's not going to like that. Number 17 qualifier. He gets to take on Benjamin Board. Nothing changes tomorrow. Your number 17 qualifier runs number 1. But hey, if you're in the show, all you got to do is run your number and drive the stripe. It's that easy. That easy. I'm going to take up stand-up comedy. Don O'Neill at the wheel of the Monte Carlo. The VP Fuels Matative entry over there on the left-hand side. For Don and Diane and the rest of the gang. Out of dragstersforsale.com. Andy Horn here on the right-hand side, your number 10 qualifier. That is a brand new Mustang for the Ohio-based group. They're sitting pretty at number 10 with a 6.67. Best run in qualifying so far. .664, Horn picks up the pace a little bit. 687, O'Neill slows it down a little bit. Andy sidesteps. Vince Danini, I can see Andy tapping him on the shoulder. Excuse me, sir, would you step back to number 10? I want to take over the number 9 spot. So Horn goes to number 9. Vince gets moved to number 10. Don O'Neill stays number 23. Billy Tolman. And Mark McDonald. Tolman on the left-hand side. A runner out of Mount Washington, Kentucky. Not in the show. 7:30 the best. If he wants in, got to run better than a 7:042. If he can lay down a 6-second lap out of that Corvette, that'll give us an all 6-second top sportsman field. And that's stout. But that's also a step. Because Billy's best run so far has been a 7:30. His only run so far has been a 7:30. Mark McDonald sits number 8 with the dragstersforsale.com. Mustang over here on the right-hand side. The Chevrolet lane. And Thoman's not going to do it. 6:59. McDonald picks up a couple of hun going down the racetrack. 208 miles an hour. Billy Thoman sitting inside the car. I can hear him right now inside that helmet. I'd translate for you, but it is a family show. Thoman, unfortunately, gets to put the Corvette in the trailer, and we won't see him again until, well, hopefully Joliet next week. He makes the tow over. It's Tony Thoman. Right behind him, likewise, not in the show. And here comes John Hochstetler. John was in the show until just a few cars ago. His 705 now holds him in the number 33 qualifying position with the big Mopar powered Dodge Stratus over here on the right-hand side. So Hochstetler looking to get back in. I hear him knocking. See if anybody answers the door and opens it up for him. Thoman on the left, he wants in as well. Just saw Billy shooting fire back. Let's see what Tony, the computer software engineer, gentleman, does over there on the Skillman Automotive Group side of the Lucas Oil Raceway. I don't know where Tony's going, but that looks more like a tourist route than a drag route. 685 Hochstetler. How about an all 6-second field? Because he jumps right back into the show. 201 miles an hour. Hochstetler, 685, puts him in number 28. 10 flat at 89 miles an hour for Tony. Bob Mandel and Scotty Wasco roll in. The bump now John Taylor's 6.980. You want to play in this top sportsman field, you better have yourself a 6-second shooter. That's all I got to say. Wasco does. His Lumina's been into the 680 zone. Mandel does. Right now, he's the bump for the top half of the field. 672.2. He's still got lane choice. Right now, he would be looking at running John Taylor's Mopar for round number 1 tomorrow. But we're not done with sending cars down the racetrack yet. Looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. Yep, last 2 pair. Super Comp, you're not in the lanes, you're late. You're just about ready to take flight for round number 1. Just about. Check that tire pressure. Make sure you got it where you want it. Hope your tire gauge is correct. If not, be sure and swing by the Moroso trailer and have it checked. Wasco goes through 682, no help. 670, 204 miles an hour. Bob Mandel does improve. Goes from number 16 to 14. Gives himself a little bit of breathing room. Anybody left that can jump over him, not going to knock him back. Kurt Fredericks, number 7. Gary Wojnowski, number 18. See, Gary could step up, become a top half player. He would have then knocked Bob Mandela back. Mandel, though, took care of things his own. Says, I don't want to sit on that number 16 bubble spot. So up to number 14 he went. Now Gary Wojnowski can move up to the top half of the field, and if he does that, he'll knock Steven Breidinger back to number 17. Going to the top half, got to run 671.5 or better. Wojnowski's gone 675, and we have seen numerous of top sportsman cars improve on this session. Red light doesn't mean anything. Watch the Chevrolet scoreboard for Wojnowski. 6.717 at 205 miles an hour. 6.56, 212 by Fredericks. Fredericks picks up the pace with this Camaro and goes to number 4. Wojnowski Man, he's going to be kicking himself when he sees it. He's now number 17. Gary Wojnowski, say hello to Benjamin Board. Round number 1 of eliminations tomorrow. Can you say missed it by that much? 2 more thousandths of a second. And Steve Breiniger and Benjamin Board would have been racing each other. I mean, Wojnowski goes 671.7. Breiniger was in at a 671.6. If he'd gone 671.6, if he'd gone a thousandth of a second and 2 miles an hour faster, he would have been able to get there. But as the expression goes, close counts and horseshoes and hand grenades. And, well, Gary, Benjamin, have fun tomorrow. That's all I can tell you. Every man for himself when we get to round number 1. Our field set, Ben Board, number 1. Aaron Glazier, number 2. Kynan Dinkel, number 3. Kurt Fredericks up to the number 4 spot. Brandon Baxter in the number 5. Mark McDonald finishes up number 6. Bill Yates, hello, Bill. Hello, Angie, into the number 7 spot. Tim Kerman, number 8. Andy Horn's new Mustang, number 9. I like that car. Vince Nannini settles into the number 10 spot. Then Rich Smith, Justin Souders. Bad Eye Breiniger, Bob Mandel Jr. sits number 14. Bob Wright, 15. And Stephen Breiniger, number 16. Then the aforementioned Gary Wojnowski sits number 17, and he runs Benjamin Board. And Gary says, shut up, Bob. I don't want to hear anything more about it. Okay, Gary, I won't. Supercomp getting ready to come up next. Round number 1 of eliminations and our finals in our Pro Stock Snowmobile. We'll follow that, and that will put a wrap and an end to day number 2 of our Lucas Oil Raceway. But we have a lot of 890 cars that we're fixing to send from here to there. 2 will go down, 1 will come back, and round number 2 will be tomorrow. Supercomp getting ready to come at us. We'll have them rocking and rolling here in just a second. Looks like they're doing a little quick track prep out there, and while they do that, we're going to do this.
VP Racing Fuels is the world's leader in performance fuel technology. That includes VP Small Engine Fuel, the perfect fuel for 2-cycle and 4-cycle gas-powered tools, including chainsaws, generators, trimmers, blowers, and more. VP Small Engine Fuel is blended with no ethanol, ensuring easier starts, worry-free long-term storage, and fewer repairs. The 2-cycle blend is pre-mixed with oil, so there's no measuring, no mixing, no mess. Just pour it in and start it up. Learn more about VP Small Engine Fuel online at vp-sef.com.
Thank you, Dave McClellan. And boys and girls, guys and gals, round number 1, Supercomp. Zach Papp, Kevin White, getting ready to roll out. And the man who brought you their final time run today, Ron Ruggles, is going to be back, tell you all about round number 1. Kimbra Fusting is your bounty car this time around in Supercomp. Kimbra picking up the win over in Norwalk, so she has the race to win. Bounty on her head here in the opening round of eliminations. Here's Zach. Here's Kevin. Here's Ronnie.
Well, thank you, Bob Unker. They've been keeping you busy. You've been keeping us up to date on everything. But here we go, the Super Comp Romp here on a Saturday night. The sun's just about to go night-night. But the racers are ready to rumble here as Zach Papp and Kevin White are our first pair up. The class, again, dominated by dragsters. But we've got quite a few door cars mixed in here this evening. And after that final time run session, this is going to be interesting as the evening cools down. Just sit back and relax. And those of you listening on D3 TV, enjoy yourselves. Here we go, round number 1. Zach Papp, left-hand lane, the Charleston, Illinois business owner. Kevin White, the executive out of Indianapolis with the Nova. Zach Papp's already pre-staged. Kevin moves in. A few more inches. It's game on. All right, green lights, pair, great way to start. Zach Papp is going to pedal hard down there trying to catch Kevin White. Top end, here they come, wind light. Zach Papp gets it done. 4 over the dial. He was 10 on the tree, and Kevin White goes 891, but gave up too much at the stripe. Zach took the finish line down there first, and he is our first winner in round number 1 of Super Comp. Bob Aker in the Dragon Wagon out of Canby, Indiana. The 67 Nova Wagon on the Ray Skillman lane, and Joe Rouse is the opponent with the Diamond dragster. Robert, wheels up, wheels down. The finish line is the goal. The wind light is the second goal. And wind light, Bob Aker gets it done at the top end. I'll tell you what, Joe just gave up too much on the starting line, gave up 200s there, and Aker goes 915 down at the top end and 882 on the breakout route on our Chevrolet Performance lane. Tyler Kahele and AJ Gick. All right, 2 dragsters. This is the norm for the class. Tyler Kahele, the painter out of Rock Spring, Georgia, on the Ray Skillman lane. On the east side, AJ Gick with the Spitzer dragster. 890s all day, all the time for round number 1 for everybody. Throttle stops, hopefully they got those set on kill as they try to turn those wind lights on any way they can. They got to try to slay the tree and drive the stripe. AJ's in, Tyler moves in, gone. Great start, 2 green lights, a pair, finish line, wind light comes on for AJ Gick. You never give up. AJ behind on the start, goes 4 over the dial for the win. Tyler breaks out by 4 thousandths of a second. AJ took the stripe first down at the top end and made it happen as Michael Swan and John Sickish left and right. About ready to go northbound. Michael Swan, the monostrut dragster, the Rooman dragster, the Race to Win Motorsports team carrying the flags for them. John Sickish with the American Chassis dragster out of Belmont, Ohio. Great drag race, 8th mile, side by side we go. 2 thou separating them out of the gate, and Michael Swan throws a 12 thousandths package over there to John Sickish. Sickish was 2 thou behind on the tree and breaks out by 4. So John took the stripe down there, but that was a bad plan, that particular run. 2 more running for the Vintage Trailer Limited out of Elkhart, Indiana. Troy Stone on the right lane. Sonny Nimitz out of Warsaw, Indiana, ready to go. Here comes Troy Stone pedaling hard. He was 3 thou ahead on the tree, and Troy Stone takes the win at the top end. Sonny took the stripe, bad plan. He was way under with an 868. Troy Stone goes 9 over and takes the win. And the other half, Shanna Snyder running for Vintage Trailer Sales, the Elkhart, Indiana runner. On the right side, the opponent is Mark Meyer out of Fulton, Illinois, the Meyer Racing team. Shanna ready to go. Mark moves in. Mark Meyer taking the big lead down there at the top end, and he breaks out as Shanna Snyder gets a break. Shanna just tardy on the tree, goes 7 over for the win. Mark had it in the bag, but breaks out by 2 thousandths of a second. Number 7 in the world last year in Super Comp, Jacob Elrod out of Harrod, Ohio. He's in the passing lane of our 2-lane interstate. And he will race Zach Evans, the Englewood, Ohio runner. Both of them running bow tie, 632 cubic inches to get the job done. Elrod, 2015 Super Gas World Champ. All he's interested in right now is turning on the wind light on the Ray Skillman lane. Three-stage, they quickly, whoa. I believe Zach Evans may have set the trans brake, and in holding through the beams, Jacob Elrod goes ahead and gets a free run at it. He breaks out by 2 thou, but Zach taking off way early. So Jacob moves into the next round tomorrow. The decorated racer out of the junior dragster ranks, Devin Eisenhower. He'll plug into the Ray Skillman lane. He looks right. Brian Cook standing in his way. The Transmissions to Go sponsored service rider from the Show Me State. So Brian wants to show Devin the wind light. But Devin is up to the task, a tough racer. Great start, Devin Eisenhower behind, trying to pull alongside Brian Cook down there, playing the finish line on the double breakout. Devin Eisenhower takes it to the bank. He goes 2 under the dial. Brian goes 4 under the 890 standard for the class. So Devin Eisenhower, you get to stay and play tomorrow. So the JEG Super Quick Champion 2017 rolls into the Ray Skillman lane. That's Mike Eggleston out of Highland, Illinois, running for Tough Paw Aluminum. He's pre-stage. And Philip Smida, the KG racer out of Canfield, Ohio. This is a great matchup, gang. All right, Smida's second to move in. Hang on, gang. Great start. Here we go. 8th mile. The eyeballing time is going on, and the wind light comes on for Phil Smida. A 29 thousandths package for Smida, and by 16 thou, Mike Eggleston's day is done. Mike goes 891 as he goes scooting across the Ray Skillman stripe down there at the top end. So Raymond Miller up next, the Spring Hill, Florida resident. And his opponent will be Patrick Forrester out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So the sun really setting very quickly now as our view out the window improves about 100%. All right, both drivers carefully rolling into the battleground, the Shark Tank, whatever you want to call it. Pre-staged, catching a few breaths down there before we lock it down. Patrick moves in first. Raymond's ready. Well, red light flight for Patrick Forrester. Raymond Miller's got the free run at it right here. Raymond 014 on the tree out the back door. Well, he just kept the pedal down as he goes 885. And, well, Patrick disappointed. You hate giving it up on the tree as he goes 1140 as he fills out his time slip on the Ray Skillman lane. So tough break for Patrick, going through the motions and turning on the red light right at the wrong time. Here we go. Larry Burnshausen, the versatile racer out of Manitou, Illinois, Gebhardt chassis dragster. He'll face up with Tim Marsh's dragster. So it's Larry left, Tim right. And this time, Tim trips the red light by 1 thou, and Larry goes right into round number 2 tomorrow. So Larry will have a pretty good night as he goes 888s out the back door at 180 miles an hour. So Larry Burnhausen moves on. Tim Marsh, well, he'll have to sit this out tomorrow. He goes 893 at 176 miles an hour. Just missed the tree. You got to press the tree because these guys and gals running Super Comp, if you don't bring your AAA game, you're going to go home. Double B, Brandon Bergschneider, also doing double duty here this weekend, running his Super B as well. He's on the left lane. Edmund Richardson, What a career he has had, and he is not done yet. Former world champ, trying to get out of round one. Well, another red light. This time Brandon Bergschneider joined that party, and that's not a party you want to join. Edmund, clean and green. He goes 888s out the back door, and Edmund goes 004 as he leaves down here. So we'll see Edmund Richardson tomorrow. Ty Davis, former U.S. National Super Comp winner with this car right here. He will square off with the Crew Chief Pro Software, Don Higgins. Don Higgins has won back-to-back here in the Fall Classic and Super Comp. Don knows how to get it done. Oh, baby. Well, Ty Davis was dead late and way off the pace at the top end with an 8:59 on the breakout. Higgins, he just cruised on down there with an 8:97. Don Higgins picks up the win. And Don Higgins joins that elite group. The invitation to race tomorrow. Another one out of the junior dragster ranks, Christopher Mullins, all 6'6" of him into that race car. Brand new pipe. Harley Mullins is the crew chief. They're out of Lincoln, Illinois. They'll hug the right-hand lane. Chris looks west, and there's Terry Kamler standing in the way to round two. Terry, the executive from the land of Lincoln. He's pre-staged. Christopher will move in. Christopher, another one that ran the Midwest Junior Super Series and polished on that starting line. And Christopher Mullins will join the group into round two tomorrow. Terry, 005 red, goes 889 out the back door. Christopher had a free run at it. He goes 888 with a 3. And Christopher Mullins and Harley, we'll see you tomorrow. Here's another cagey racer that's been in the winner's circle right here at Lucas Oil Raceway. This is Dave Dahlem. He's retired from Caterpillar, enjoying the racing world. And Richard Bad is his opponent. There we go. 2 green lights, Racer's Delight. It'll help you race into the night. Dahlem gets it done down there at the top end. Dahlem was dead late, but that veteranship came in handy. He stole Richard's stake right off his plate. Richard was playing it safe, going 9 over. Dave goes flying by with an 892 and takes the margin of victory by 31 10/1000. That'll make Judy happy. Another racer out of the land of Lincoln. This is Brian Milam, a quick 16 winner over there at Central Illinois Dragway. He's the truck driver. And Pat Lamont, a Midwest Super Comp racer. I believe he was their champ in 2017. He'll plug into the Chevrolet Performance lane. I'll tell you what, the lights get a little easier to see once the sun settles down at night. That worked for me. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, baby, let the games begin right now. In the dump zone, the decision zone, down there at the top end, Pat Lamont gets it done. He goes 892, takes the win from Brian Milam. Milam gets down. He was down there. He was only 2 thou behind on the tree, but he breaks out going 3 under. Steve Beeler out of Freeport, Michigan, coming down here, brought some of the cool weather with him. Hey, Steve, we appreciate that. And Allison Prose, the opponent, out of Terre Haute, Indiana. All right. Oh, nice. Nice. Somebody's holding a little bit. They bought a little real estate off the tree, and wow. Allison Prose, how about a 15-pack goes dead on with an egg and just closed the fingers on Steve Beeler. Steve had to keep the pedal down there, and he goes on the breakout route 3 under. Mercy. Allison's ready to play serious hardball here. Our Todd Cap bringing the Roadster, the altered in out of Springfield, Illinois. And Bob Pros. We're going Pros nose to tail here. Bob going to follow down that same track. Hopefully the wind light will come on for Bob Pros as well. Oh my. Oh my, look at this one, Bob. Here comes Bob, pedaling hard, pedaling hard, pedaling hard. Got it. Pros, perfect on the tree. Trip, zip, potato chip, goes 2 over the dial. I'll tell you what, our Todd Cap was close. He breaks out by 4 thousandths of a second. Mercy. How about Shannon Mingy in that monostrut dragster out of Urbana, Illinois, the electrician? Will face Daniel Leslie IV's Avenger. Nice. Daniel's in, Shannon's in, gone. Uh-oh. Shannon Mingy kicking that thing into high gear, standing on the gas, jumping down there in the cockpit, and takes the win from Dan Leslie's Avenger. Mingy, 1 over the dial, 166 miles an hour. Leslie way behind, kept the pedal down, and goes 879 on the breakout route. Couple Buckeye runners going, neither one of them want to go north back home tonight as Kevin Trusty plugs in. Left side, Gary Fleener, right side. Dragsters a pair. Brad, our starter, out there with his hands out like, wait a minute, boys. Okay, we're ready. We're good. All right, Kevin Trusty, Gary Fleener. Got a little bit of extra time to think about this. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not so good. It's according to what your nature is. Some of them want to get out there and just punch the lights out of their opponent, and others are out there like they're on a fishing trip. It's like, whatever, I can wait. Here we go. Oh, baby. Here comes Gary pulling alongside, looking at the front tire of Kevin Trusty's dragster, and Gary Fleener is your winner. 893 for Fleener. Kevin Trusty was behind a little bit on the Christmas tree and maybe tried to make up a little too much down there as he goes 887, says the Ray Skillman scoreboard. We call that a breakout. Tony Elrod and Megan Strasweg. This ought to be a dandy. Strasweg on the Ray Skillman lane. Parked for now. Tony Elrod, the heavy equipment operator out of Fenton, Michigan. Not ready to go back home yet. Megan, pre-stage, low beam on that side. Tony thinking about it. Here we go. Pre-stage, 2 more bulbs to go, and we're ready. Let go of them buttons, and they did. They're green. They're gone. 8th mile block says bye-bye. Here comes 1320. Wind light on the double breakout. Megan Strasweg breaks out the lead. 7th thou on the breakout for Megan. Tony, wow, 6 under with an 884 at the top end. So Jennifer Liggett and Christina Harriman lock horns this particular matchup. So it's Indiana versus Ohio, the quality engineer versus the budget analyst. Dragsters a pair. Christina with the wing. Jennifer says, I don't need no friggin' wing, just something else to polish. Ah, beautiful Saturday night at the racetrack. Oh, Jennifer. Tough break for Jennifer. Red light, we're not going to say what it was. Christina says, I'll take it any way I can get it. Christina goes 8:91 and grabs that time slip, the invitation to round 2 tomorrow. Nick Wallace and Jerry Mellis want one of those special invitations for tomorrow. Nobody wants to cut out here yet. We're having too much fun. Weather's going to be good tomorrow. But unfortunately, one invitation per pair for the dance tomorrow to continue. Couple Hoosier racers. As Jerry Mellis sneaks in, Nick Wallace sneaks in a few more inches. Gone. Oops, Jerry Mellis got caught leaving the office early. He was 001 red. Nick says, all right, thank you. Nick goes 3 unders. He goes 8:87. Oh, Jerry, hide his time slip. 001 red goes dead 6. Mellis will be thinking about that for a while. Maybe until next weekend when he runs up to Joliet to try again. Ray Miller out of Spring City, Tennessee, the chassis builder, and I'm telling you what, he builds some gorgeous race cars. He's on the east side. He looks over the bow of the ship, and there's Jason Hardig out of Lancaster, Ohio. So it's the undercover on the left and the Miller chassis on the right. Now they're texting each other, trying to figure out where they're going to have supper tonight. Or not. Ooh, Ray just flickering that bulb, but they are green and mercy. This is going to be good. Hang on. Tighten your seatbelt at the finish line. Wind light, Ray Miller, 002 on the tree. Kind of buried Jason down here at the start. Well, Jason gets down there and he says, okay, let's keep the pedal down. He breaks out, goes 888s. Miller goes 897, playing it safe. He bought a lot of real estate down here and really helped him a lot down at the finish line. Joey Fusting and Dirk Ross. Dirk Ross retired. Hey, this is a great way to spend your retirement years. I'm telling you. Joey Fusting in the Chevrolet Performance Lane, Grace Lake, Illinois. Well, Dirk Ross, a little anxious out there, goes 16 on the red-eye flight out of that left-hand lane, goes 7 under. And Joey goes into round number 2. Joey goes 3 thou under the 890, but it didn't matter. That was one of those 11-inch races. It's Joey Fusting. We'll see you tomorrow, Joey. Two more. Rusty Cook. He'll plug into that Ray Skillman lane, running for Ohio Crankshaft. Out of my home state. He's from Cynthiana, Kentucky. That's where he mows his yard, but not today. Maybe not tomorrow either. Mike Jurasek out of Elyria, Ohio. Mike's ready. He's got those bulbs lit. Here comes Rusty. There goes Rusty. Rusty will be going down the highway. He's 007 red. Mike's got the win. Mike will go 888 with a 9. And Rusty will go 888 with a 4. Unfortunately, Rusty's got a red light to go with the red breakout at the other end. So Mike will join the elite group tomorrow. Let's see if Ken Carson and Nicole Stevenson, see which one will join in with the rest of them. Will it be the invitation to tomorrow, or will it be the invitation to the highway? Nicole Stevenson, left lane, out of Indiana. Ken Carson, another truck driver, out of Lebanon, Ohio. Ken's got the GPS set. Well, Ken Carson won another short race. His light was green. That was all that was necessary. He goes 8:93. Ken Carson is your winner. Nicole Stevenson missed the tree by 8 thou, goes 5 over. As the number comes up down here on the Ray Skillman scoreboard, both of them giving it a good try. So the machinist out of Mansfield, Ohio, we call it the Jackson Scratcher, Bill Jackson, the wheelman. He's on the passing lane. Kathy Weber out of Palm City, Florida, coming up here to cool off. Kathy's probably not ready to go home yet, but Bill Jackson probably isn't either. Oh, we're so close. Here we go. Oh, another tight race down at the finish line. Bill Jackson coaxes the win out of the scoreboard. He goes 8:91. He was 0:16 on the tree, had a little bit of an advantage over Kathy Weber. Kathy goes 8:86 as she goes flying by the Chevrolet Performance scoreboard. Didn't work out. Bill Jackson will have to keep working this weekend after he has a good night's sleep. Double R, Rose Richardson, the Woodburn, Indiana P&R Express sponsored dragster. They'll park on the Ray Skillman lane. And Double D, Derek Denny from Tennessee, running for Denny Mechanical. Couple bow ties just about ready to go to work. Got those buttons pressed, they're ready. Oh, somebody released it pretty good, and somebody was thinking about supper maybe a little early. Derek Denny is your winner. He goes 8:97. He had a big advantage down here, and he played it like a fine fiddle down in the Chevrolet Performance lane as Rose Richardson had to try to make up the difference. Rose only broke out by 1 thou. Too many numbers in reaction time really can get you in trouble. Steve Eckert out of Pataskala, Ohio, 91 Cutlass. Steve, I believe, Bob, was our first Super Gas World Champion in 1982, a couple years ago. I wasn't very big back then. Alana Haas is the opponent for Steve Eckert. So obviously Steve's been doing this a while. And the nurse out of Commerce, Michigan, just kind of getting started in the business here. Well, Alana is pedaling hard, trying to make the pass at the top end, and your winner is the nurse out of Commerce, Michigan. 8:92 for Alana, taking the win by 53 thou as Steve Eckert gave up too much on the starting line, and it cost him down at the top end. 8:92's a pair, but Alana is your winner. Another door car. How about a Viper? There's not too many races that I go to that I say Viper. Running for the Quick Fuel Technology Company. And Rock Haas, a decorated racer, a steady runner out of Division III in the dragster. Now watch Rock Haas catch up down there and try to play it sweet down at the top end. And Scott Vandewalker, the Viper, strikes Rock Haas at the finish line. The winner is Scott. He goes 8:91. He was behind on the Christmas tree. Margin of victory was 0:02. That was an outstanding race at the top end. Haas goes 8:93. Well, let's put a couple more dragsters on the racetrack. We're burning it up. We're going northbound as Bill Rudy and Pat Martin are the next two combatants. I am glad I'm up here and not down there competing. This is a Shark Tank. Bill Rudy left, Pat Martin right. a couple Buckeye runners. The forklift driver and the Armor Paving and Sealing sponsored fabricator, Pat Martin. Okay, they're green. That's all we're going to say right now as they disappear in the north part of our property here. And the wind light comes on for Bill Rudy. Bill took that 003 reaction time and takes the win by 15 thou. 8 dead on with an 8 for the opponent, but the Christmas tree favored the left lane. How about the Ring and Pinion Shop sponsored dragster out of Clinton Township, Michigan? The veteran racer Leo Zinda will face Adam Gerber. The American Race Cars sponsored dragster. Adam Gerber has been in the Jegs All-Star race representing Division III. But all he cares about right now is making those lights dance down there on the Chevrolet Performance Lane. But Leo Zinda is up to the task. You watch. Oh, my. Somebody just crushed the bulb, and it was Adam Gerber, and he takes the double breakout win away from Leo Zinda. Adam was 002 on the tree, goes 886. Leo goes 882 on the double breakout. But whoever breaks out the least gets that W. And this time Adam Gerber gets it. The Richardson Boys Racing Team. This is Austin Richardson, the machinist. He'll plug into the right-hand lane, the Chevrolet Performance Lane. His opponent will be the Pillpot, Kentucky resident, Jay Oakley, undercover chassis dragster. Bam, we are gone. Austin Richardson trying to make the move down there at the top end. Wheel-to-wheel wind light. Austin Richardson. He gave up about 300ths on the Christmas tree, stuck with it, goes 892 for the win. Jay Oakley, I thought he had it covered until he got down to the stripe. Took the shortcut through the woods. He breaks out by 2 thousandths of a second. Ouch. Scott Sattler out of Salina, Ohio, running that Miller chassis dragster. His opponent will be Rick Bailey out of Decatur, Illinois, running for Larry Hodge Racing Tire. Clean and green. Finish line, here they come. Win light goes to Scott Sattler. Scott was 006. He planted it on the reaction time, goes 894 for the win. Rick Bailey took the stripe down there, breaks out by 7 thou, had no choice. Gave up too much on the reaction time. Scott Sattler, your winner. A little bit of pacing going on down there at the finish line as they pace each other across the stripe. Ron Finney out of Greenwood, Indiana. He'll park it on the Ray Skillman lane just for a little while as Jim Jarek Harris rolls in with his Spitzer dragster. So will it be the college professor or Jarek Harris? Win light, Ron Finney, 892 for Ron, 893 for Jarek Harris. Finney was holding 500ths out of the Christmas tree, and by 62 thou is your winner. So the college professor will work some more tomorrow in round number 2. All right, Kimbra Fusting has the bounty on them. The Grace Lake, Illinois athletic trainer will be on the right lane. Ed Cook is going to try to collect that bounty. He'll run the Fast Eddie dragster out of the left-hand lane, the Ray Skillman lane. A couple 540 cubic inch bow ties about ready to go to work. Well, can we see it happen? Kimbra's got the bounty on the right-hand lane. And how about that? Kimbra says, no way, Jose. Kimbra goes 8.900 for the win. Kimbra was behind 200s on the tree. Ed Cook got there too quick on his breakout. Triple eights for Ed Cook, so no bounty is going to be collected there. So Alan Evans Jr., the plumbing contractor, hey, that come in handy. A little bit of plumbing to do on race cars as well. Clayton, Ohio, where they mow their yard. They look east. There's Corey Baker, the wind light maker out of Crawfordsville, Indiana. He's a painter, and he's going to try to paint a win right on that time slip. Little simple W is all he wants, and he's got it. Well, Alan Evans helped him there. Alan's on that red-eye flight northbound. Corey goes right into the next round as Corey goes an 887. He kept the pedal down. Didn't matter. He'd already had that one in the bag as they left the Christmas tree. 906, disappointed out of the Ray Skillman lane. So Kelvin Keene Jr. don't have to come very far to go racing, as he's from Indianapolis, Indiana, with that 97 Spitzer running the small block Chevrolet. Used to be 454 was a big block, but that was then, this is now, as this is the big block era of Super Comp racing. This is Ed Jurasik, the electrical engineer from the Buckeye State. Ready to go. Somebody bought them some real estate off the Christmas tree, and they've got the win. Kelvin goes 899 on the losing effort. Ed Jurasik was 9 flat. And you're like, well, how far off can he be? He was closer in that in his time run. Well, Ed had a lot of room to spare as his reaction time parlayed that win light as he played it safe at the finish line. Chuck Ridenauer now plugs in to our Ray Skillman lane, the Plainfield, Indiana racer. Couple 632 cubic inch bow ties just about to get woken up by the drivers when they let those buttons go, as Edward Rudick, the elevator repairman with his Corvette. Got the top down. He's going to enjoy the nice breeze as he goes north down Route 1320. So Edward already pre-staged. Chuck's thinking about it. He's lit those first pair of bulbs. It's game on. Well, Chuck's trying to catch up, but, oh, never give up. Chuck was just dead late. He takes a double breakout win from Edward Rudick. Edward, 005 on the tree, goes 3 under with an 887. Chuck goes under by 8 thou, and when Ed looks at that time slip, woo, I don't want to be around. Chuck is your winner. Never give up on a race, no matter how bleak it looks. Brian Richardson from the Richardson Racing Team, the P&R Express dragster. The delivery driver, well, he wants to deliver a win for Team Richardson out of that right-hand lane. And his opponent will be the A&A Transmission sponsored dragster out of Fishers, Indiana. I'd like to introduce Rick Hughes. So 890s all night for Super Comp. Oh, these drivers, some of them make it look easy, but it's anything but easy. Turn wind lights on. It's tough. Oh, this is a good one developing. Let's see who can play the strategy called the finish line, and it will be on the double breakout. Great drag race. Rick Hughes takes the win. Rick goes 8.894 to Brian Richardson's 8.884. Wow. Another one of our versatile racers, Rob Kropfeld out of Hamilton, Ohio. In the Mullis dragster. He's sneaking up on the right side of our Christmas tree. Jeff Smith Jr., the engineer, out of Plymouth, Indiana. So it's Indiana and Ohio. Oh. Hang on, gang. Great start. Just about identical reaction times. How about a 33 thousandths package for Jeff Smith Jr., and he is your winner. Rob Kropfeld goes 8.886 on his breakout run, and Jeff Smith Jr. survived a good one there. Another versatile driver out of Brownsburg, Indiana, the machine shop owner, Mr. Greg Camplain. Right now, he's in that Mike Spitzer built dragster. So Greg, 2003 Super Comp Division III champ. Madison Ellison, the youngster, running for Collector Tethers, up to the task. Oh my. And your winner, Madison Ellison, takes a big win there from a veteran off of Greg Camplain. Madison goes 8.92. Madison got the reaction time advantage, turned on the wind light by .020 as Camplain goes 8.91. Madison picked a great time to cut a great light. Great job. Another one of the youngsters out of the junior dragster ranks, the Jegs.com dragster, Paige Coughlin, is away. Rob Goen squirts out there pretty good, but here comes that big horsepower of Paige Coughlin, and Paige takes the win. Dead on with a 3 for a 25 thousandths package. Paige Coughlin threw a curveball over there to Rob Goens, and he missed the pitch. He goes 8.85 on the breakout. Paige Coughlin will be into round number 2. Michelle Furr has been on a tear here in the Super Comp ranks. A Division II runner running for Quick Fuel. Glenn Julius, the opponent, running for Julius Motorsports, gone. All right, the horsepower singing down at the top end. The front wheel watching is going on as we speak, and wow. Both drivers playing chicken with the finish line. They were dragging their feet across down here, and the wind light comes on for Michelle Furr. Michelle goes 9 flat. Glenn goes 9.08. That was an interesting finish line gamesmanship going on there. Jeremy Mason, right side. Austin McClure plugged into the Ray Skillman lane. Austin out of Topeka, Kansas. Jeremy Mason from Richmond, Kentucky, the bridal state. So Austin running for Aeromotive Fuel Systems. Try to carry the flags into round number 2. Throttle stops on, throttle stops off. Here we come, finish line, wind light, check. Jeremy Mason on the double breakout. Jeremy goes 8.876 for the win. Austin McClure, 8.861. Snowmobile finalists, need you to the lanes, please. Snowmobile finalists, need you to the lanes, please. James Weber out of Palm City, Florida. He'll be tagging the left-hand lane. And Jimmy Smith, the truck and trailer repairman from Walton, Kentucky. Wow, another Bridal State racer just flickering the bulbs. Oh, my. Oh, this is great. Oh, I wish the tower was at the finish line. On the double breakout, James Weber takes a tight one by 16 thou. Jimmy Smith took the stripe first, 885 for Jimmy. Weber goes 887. 006 for Weber, 008 for Jimmy off of the reaction time. Outstanding finish at the top end. James Weber takes a close one and goes, woo! Dean McIlvain rolling in, the chassis builder from the Buckeye State. He's on the east side. Brian Casson out of Evansville, Indiana, the electrician, and he's going to try to energize the lights on the Ray Skillman side. He's going to try to make those lights dance, which means I'm a winner. All right, Dean slow to go in. He's pressing the timeout button, but he got in. That had to be close. We've got a race, and it's a tight one. Oh, McIlvain goes 891 and takes the win by 13 thou away from Brian Casson. Casson was 894. Casson had about 200s in the bank, but maybe let off a little too quick down at the top end. Dean goes flying by and steals his steak right off his plate. All right, Tim Millwood and Jake Smith plug in. Tim Millwood, the executive out of Columbus, Indiana, 93, the Flying Daytona. Jake Smith, the 18-year-old student from Liberty Township, Ohio, with his American chassis dragster. Oh, another great start. Look at that Daytona go squirting out there. Here comes Jake Smith. He's standing on the gas, top end, wind light. Jake Smith on the double breakout. Smith was 5 thousandths under the 890 index, and Millwood goes 888s with a 7. So Jake Smith makes the lights dance for the win. I'll tell you what, if you're tuned in to D3 TV, which I hope you are, you're seeing some outstanding racing. Super Comp Round 1. Warren Evans, thank you very much for making this possible. Wow. Tim Foley and Michael Shelton are the next pair up, pre-staged and ready. The pipe fitter versus the fabricating welder. Michael Shelton, Shellfoot Racing, is gone. Tim Foley going to try to make the lights dance for the win down the top end. All we see is the 8th mile, 1320 wind light. Michael Shelton gets it done. Michael goes 891 for the win. Foley took the shortcut through the forest as he breaks out by 8 thousandths of a second. Another Midwest Super Comp competitor, Jim Glosson, out of Lake Villa, Illinois, the construction superintendent, running for nail.com. Racecraft office chair. He's nestled in it very comfortably as in one of the door cars, the 81 Camaro, out of Brunswick, Ohio, running for Ohio Crankshaft. Bruce Broker. Is Bruce going to try to broker a win down here at the finish line? He's trying hard. He's trying hard. Win light. Jim Glossom takes the win with an 892 run at it. Jim took the stripe down here at the top end. Good choice. Bruce Broker goes 893, and by 27 thousandths, just about the difference in the reaction time, Mr. Glossom is your winner. So two more, Zach Fisher and Chris Balcom. We're going to close the gamesmanship in Super Comp here this evening. Chris Balcom with the Mullis chassis dragster, left side. Zach Fisher Chromeworks dragster, the student. All right, last pair, Super Comp round one. Nobody wants to go home. Who's going to go home this time? Well, I'll tell you the winner first. It will be Zach Fisher. Zach Fisher gets to live another day. The Clayton, Ohio student goes 8.96 for the win. Chris Balcom had the reaction time advantage, but the race car goes 8.83 on the breakout route. So Zach Fisher takes that win. I believe we got a snowmobile final. Warren Evans from D3 TV is going to take her over.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Our first final of the weekend coming at you right now. To pick up a Wally, the snowmobile final, Pro Stock Snowmobile. First one to the finish line will be your winner. And it's going to be Scott Hagan, left side of the track, Race Gilman Lane out of Oxford, Michigan. Qualified number 3, taking on your number 1 qualifier, Glenn Hall from Gordon, Wisconsin. He'll be up on the Arctic Cat Chevrolet lane alongside the Ski-Doo. So this is our final round tonight in Pro Stock Snowmobile. So they were about a tenth and a half different during qualifying. Glenn Hall setting the mark with an 8:21. Scott Hagan an 8:34, but that was earlier in the day. Conditions have changed, and we'll just see how close we get to a competitive race. Deep stage there for Scott Hagan as he heads down track. Glenn Hall with the better reaction time, though, and Glenn Hall is going to be your winner. Best pass of the weekend. Low ET for the snowmobile category. 8:15 at 1:55 for your winner, Scott Hagan. 8:32 at 1:52 as your runner-up. So that completes our action here today on Saturday night here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Don't forget tomorrow morning, RFC Chapel service. Sunday at 8 a.m. up here on the 3rd floor of the Parks Tower. Everyone is welcome. Please join in and participate for Team RFC, the RFC Chapel service tomorrow morning, Sunday, 8 a.m. up here on the 3rd floor of the Parks Tower. We go hot tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. First pair will pull into the staging beams in stock eliminator. Round 2 for stock will start things out 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, followed by Super Gas, Super Stock, Super Comp. And then it'll be time for round 1 of Top Dragster. So, once again, we start tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Great number of cars this weekend, over 670 cars entered this weekend. Some folks, their weekend has already ended, but for the rest of you, we'll be racing tomorrow morning. Chapel service at 8. First pair at the starting line, stock eliminator at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So on behalf of everybody that's a part of the NHRA North Central Division, the National Hot Rod Association, our entire staff and crew of Lucas Oil Raceway, for Mike Coyle, Ron Ruggless, Bob Unkerfer, and myself, Warren Evans, we'd like to thank all of you for coming out today. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning as we finish up the summer spectacle here at Lucas Oil Raceway. And with that, have a great evening, everybody. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Be careful tonight. We'll see you first thing in the morning. And with that, good night.